Well, Jax is, dominating top lane at Worlds, he's dominating top lane in his solo queue games, this map is way too big, and all of a sudden we have a challenger jungler popping off an EOS solo queue with it in jungle. Now, obviously, this is a singular instance or something he kind of plays, it's not an OTP kind of thing, but he is ranked 7th, did peak rank 2 on the server, going for that rank 1, plays a lot of different junglers, but this one, why does it allow him absolute domination in terms of actually being able to climb to challenge an EOS at this early stage in the season? Let's observe. Now, I just wanted to show you this early little start here because obviously we're on the gameplay channel, right? We're going to have some good stuff. Bet Jax, how do we carry now? This is very important. Most people will see, all right. This guy got chunked a little bit. His laner's got an advantage. He's going to be slower tempo here, less healthy. Is anything going to happen against him? And I love this little directional shift here. You see, this is what I'm talking about. Look, you see the Quinn comes from here. So maybe it's warded, maybe it's not. Probably not, but things we can think about, right? Now you see, okay, they know I'm starting Raptors, they know I'm low. Against a Bel'Veth, Kindred, those kind of mindless champions, I love you guys, they're going to try and invade you here thinking you're down here. Zach's not going to do that. But it's still very important that you actually go ahead and outpath the enemy. Mislead them. Make them not know where you are. And the reason for Jax doing that is because, yeah, we've got Conqueror here. You saw the rune set. Lethal Tempo is better. Do go that if you want to play this. Conqueror does work, obviously. It's fine, Grass, Conqueror, Lethal. But because he's got that 3-hit passive on his level 6, once he gets that going right there, you'll see that. You also have his attack speed amp on his passive. These things are important, right? You want attack speed. You like extra stonks with your repetitive light post smacking. Conqueror is still great though because you stack it up and every auto attack then gets amplified also. Just Lethal provides a bit more. Now even the bot lane did get a bit of a lead here. Whoa, this is a legacy clear. We have a Raptors blue Gromp into a top lane gank because it's a Quinn versus a Kenneth. So we know there's going to be a bit of a shove advantage there. We're going to prime our counter strike, first leap strike, then counter strike, and we'll get the kill there. Bonking already went through with the W. Now here's the thing about Jax when you face it. Remember that the Counter-Strike does maximum HP damage, it's magic damage. That's a lot. And the more he dodges, the more percentage max HP damage he does. Now, here we know that the Zach, obviously, 1 assist. We're going to go ahead and get a cheeky thing here. We know he'll be thinking about this vicinity. Could also go here if he's paying attention. You don't always know exactly where people are. You can hit this point to find out. Heimerdinger is a tough lane to gank, but we have no stress stealing that away. Ah, there you are. Now I know what you've done. Thumbs up. That's the thing, right? You gotta head to Virkayu.gg. Not only do I have a free jungle improvement resource, I also have a dedicated program with jungle video courses, jungle coaching classes, a jungle VOD library, special weekly content you'll see nowhere else. All of this available through a premium jungle Discord, which is highly active, a huge community that help each other climb using my jungle program and courses. As we have seen by everybody hitting their peak rank goals in Split 1 and Split 2 of Season 14 as fast as possible. So to climb faster than everybody you know and to jungle diff every game you play, head to Virkayu.gg or click the link in the description below. The outpathing here is important. Yeah, that clear is not the best, but if there's a prime gankable scenario, a prime gankable lane that you can use and then still retract and fall back to a sequence down and potentially get this, you're looking at a really nice controlled early game, and the Zach we know is going to go for this one. He will have the experience advantage here. The Jax is just saying, let him have it. I ain't interested in fighting that. I'm just going to sequence down and control my camps. So obviously the respawn Raptors will come up very shortly, and we'll have a red as well as our Krugs. So outpathing is the most important thing you can do as a jungler, right? Absolutely, and Jack's very good at that. But you're always looking to mislead and not let the enemy jungler know what you're doing. Confuse them. Look at this. You see? The Zach's just thinking, oh, I can go here. He's not actually tracking the Jax or extrapolating proper stuff. I'm going to get the smite there. There's the rel going in. Heimerdinger is moving on over here. Cooldowns are quite high, 70 seconds, rank 1 on that E. Ezreal shows up. We get pool noodled. Silly Zach, you tried things. And counter strike there as well. Doesn't go through, but Jax will die to the leap strike. Now Samir is rotating over. So in this meta, we are seeing a little bit more of this kind of, skirmishing, shall we use it? It's a bit of a skirmishing meta. So some champions that are AFK farming a bit too much lately, they're noticing like, okay, well, I'm ahead, but I lack control. And that's because people are really, with damage being down across the board and items being changed, we're looking for different ways to exert leads, And Jax is just the master skirmisher, isn't he? So, first base here, Sheen. We do like bonking with the Sheen here. Remember, you see that? Your Leap Strike can also do amplified damage when you press this. It's not just the next attack. So if you press it, and then you hit your Leap Strike, you're getting that same additional damage. So if you want to go for the all-in, like you did in the top lane there, W into the Q, you're going to get that max damage dished out. Now, this particular stage, we are not doing the red because we have a red buff. You see that there. We stole it from the Zac. We don't need to take ours. I mean, I still kind of like to snack it up, but here, obviously, this the Counter-Strike, Leap Strike death will befall. Now, this particular stage, you see there, we can anticipate the Zac's going to be in the bottom side. We now know he's going to do this gank. We see it, and Jack says, well, thanks for the freebies. The experience is low. This is not necessarily your optimized sequencing jungling. Yeah, we're not going to be going ahead and rinse clearing AFK farming. Jax used to do that a little bit in the jungle, the Bara days, attack speed jungle item days. But whenever we've covered Jax on this channel in the last couple of years, it's been about, you know, I'm not going to full clear as fast as the other junglers yet. What can I do better than them? What can I do that maximizes Jax? And usually it's those early 3-camp ganks, 3-camp actions, 3-camp invades, some lethal counter jungling, and then you fall back to your camps because no one really wants to go and fist a Jax, right? So he really does provide a vast array of opportunities pathing-wise, which is why you typically don't see people playing Jax jungle properly. Good counter jungling here. We see this, look, I love vision. I love great vision. And when I'm tracking and saying, you know, the Zac could gank bot lane here, I want to do this, you know, and I see him, cool. Not, whether it's on the ward, whether it's on the gank, now I can go stress-free, take the grubs, counter jungle his top side, and then repeat gank top lane. Like, I'm relaxed, right? It's great. If I don't see him, I'm still in control of my own camps. Always good philosophy. We should get 6 here. One more. Come on, bonky, bonky, bonky. We're just going to go for the gank. Fair play. We'll get 6 anyway. We really don't need it. Remember, with your ultimate here, yeah? Don't just press it and then go and hit stuff. You want to press it when you are already going to hit stuff because it gives you that bonus armor magic resist, right? So press that button when you're going to hit champions. You're going to actually do magic damage to them. You're going to get that amplification of resistances and become unkillable. And yeah, your passive gets amped up a little bit every 2 attacks instead of 3. But I still see people legacy Jax ulting. Like, they just ult and then they go. And it's like, well, you get no bonus resistances, really. You didn't do the damage 150 to anybody. You get the passive increase. And if you really need that passive increase, sure. But not really maximizing the ultimate. So, and if you're against it, again, don't free hit him when he's counter-striking, because he will do more max HP damage to your ass. Now, Zac is obviously going down here to take this stuff. He realizes we've taken that. But I love a JAX jungle. I love any jungle, really, when you outpath. And I love doing the unexpected pathing. Watch your bracket pathing here so you don't get detected on the crashing wave. I love the bracket pathing, right? We can assume that's warded, but we don't have a scanner, so it doesn't matter. Whenever you do a cut-up or a reverse clear or some sort of like semi-reverse clear, which we did this game, enemy junglers are so conditioned at this point to full clearing timers that they don't know how to adapt to it. For example, if this Jax then decided to go red, which he did, well, he did Raptors, but say he went red, blue, Grump, I'll pause for a second. Does anyone know off the cuff what that time on that Grump is, that respawn, the first respawn of the Grump? Usually around 445 to 450. Comes out. Depends on what champion you're playing. But I reverse clear all the time on my champs because I'm always being invaded. All the time. Because Zyra and Ornn and Mundo, we invade you. So I reverse clear. And what it allows me to do is stitch all the way down here, delay all of my respawn timers by pocket. And this just gives me the opening to stay out a little bit longer early. If they do a regular full clear to counter jungle their Grump and still get back in time to defend my Grump, you just take away the ability for them to get in your face. Now, if he did these Raptors, blue, Grump, and this lane was doomed, he could do nothing. And Zac was pathing upside, then he can just cut all the way down. Sure, his camps are going to be on a more regular cadence, like this will spawn at, 4 minutes, this will spawn at around 4:45, this will then spawn at around 5 to 5:10. Sure, those things will be regular, quote unquote, but it's still distorted with the Krugs, and it throws people off. And that's why you always want to think about outpathing an enemy jungler. If they know where you are, misdirect them, mislead them, be smarter than them, adapt. Look at this, we know he's come down here. Rel's forced to jump out, unfortunately. There's a leap strike into the counter strike, and now we can, of course, press the R so we get those bonus resistances. We don't actually get full-on maximum damage, so we do have, obviously, the leap strike available. We wanted to kite out the wind wall there in the Samir's ultimate. That Ezreal goes through, and we do get fisted a little bit, and that's why this is good. Because no matter how much your brain does things, eventually you're going to have to press buttons correctly. Make mechanics good. But yeah, this is a little unfortunate. I mean, obviously, the Samir's really, really fed. And one can argue, look, yeah, you're counter ganking the ZAC here. You kind of know, all right, yeah, we get something back. We're counter ganking the ZAC here, but is this a lane where I want to be doing that? Or do I want to be snowballing this further, taking all this again, shoving this out, getting maximum plates? Do I want to be ganking mid lane? You make the decision for yourself. It's not always like, hey, you have to counter gank the ZAC because you know he's coming here. But if you're strong enough where you think you can kill the bot lane, kill the ZAC, still get your full item completion, which we did in the Trinity Force, you know, it's a great play. You know, it's dying there is okay. There we go. There's a leap strike into the Q bonk. Obviously, the counter strike to absorb damage, and we'll have leap strike again shortly. There's a Galio. Can we get there again? We get interrupted. See, I might have thought about flashing that one, but then again, I'm also a bit not nervous, but I don't want to have to flash in that particular case, right? So it's fine to just see. Maybe I get interrupted, maybe I don't. Now, Raptors, not Raptors. Well, yeah, Raptors are up. I was going to say Grubs. Grubs are going to be spawning. This is the juice you want. Things like Mundo, I love to go for dragons, actually. Stack them up fast, furious. Everyone's obsessed with Grubs at the moment. They're great. I love them. I've been pushing Grubs a whole season. But if you're going to be obsessed over Grubs, and I don't have the map for Grubs, I'll stack dragons. No stress for me. And I think the JAX here obviously is one of those cases where you could do that, but obviously your JAX, you want the Grubs, right? Like we want to use that to dominate the map and the turrets and hit them in the face. So we're going to cut up here. We saw the ZAC go down. The ZAC will do this. You cannot stop him doing this. It's what he does. You know, only up 8 CS on him. You know, this will be now 12 CS here. He's going to move into the Grubs area. We're kind of hoping that our cannon is fed enough that we can do something. 2 bots, 2 bot. We have the cannon over here. You should be strong enough at this particular stage to think, you know, can I take this fight? Quinn's obviously going to move. Heimer's going to move. You got no mid laner. Should we be coin flipping this? Question mark, question mark, question mark. All we need is 1 to get the mites. And if we can kill the ZAC as well, we can. We do. And oh! Counter strike again. This was nice. This was very well played by everybody involved. Cannon, great ult, beautiful stun. Beautiful follow-up by the JAX. We got a mega bonk on the ultimate. If you want to see, just for reference, what that looks like for magic resist, okay? Here we go. We're at 60 and 44. I know it's really tiny with the HUD layout. Now we're at 108.73. So that's already pretty decent, you know? You're significantly tankier than people would imagine. And that's still running, right? 110, 110, 110. That's still going. The whole duration here. Now it's dropped back down to 60. Now we wait for the CC so we can go back in here. We have Counter-Strike coming up. We got another W available. Also, extra on-hit damage. Both Sheen proc, Trinity Force amps up. Is lovely, right? You're just stacking everything. Damage bonus there, 649. Oh, you can't see it. 649. Match history is always below. This is just such a great early game for the JAX. 5-1-3. We're at 5.5k gold already. Remember, I tell you guys, if you want a 1v9 a game, I don't want to click on the ward. I mean, I know JAX looks like one sometimes. If you want a 1v9 a game, 40 minutes, 6,000 gold, halfway to level 10, level 11. That's kind of where your baseline should be. It's just a target. It doesn't mean you should get it. You can be 5.5k gold at 40 minutes and have the most of the game, right? It's not a rule. It's a guideline. So if you can reach those regularly and consistently, it means your early games are being executed well, and you're always in a position to control games. In this particular case, you see you're 5.6 at 12 minutes. You know, we're definitely going to be level 10, 14, unless something random happens here. Actually, yeah, it could be a little close, now that I see about it. Oh, he steals it! The goo! The goo shows up, but now, of course, he has no passive. And there's a Galio ultimate. We have Counter-Strike up. We're going to leap strike over to the Israel. You know, we shouldn't be outsmited by a ZAC. This is a little bit tumultuous at this particular stage. We do have a gold lead. Cannon is smacking this away with all the mites. But we got 6 grubbies, of course, after the fight. Yeah, I mean, like, you look at the KDAs, and this is why it's very important. You see, you think, why? This is greedy by the ZAC. This is really greedy by the ZAC. There's the ult. Come on, heal. The champion. Full tank ZAC with the dog seal. Still tanky, still tanky. He's still tanky. Full expect moment. Although most of you probably don't know that, which is sad. Now, as I was saying, you look at the KDAs, actually, and there's only the Quinn's inting. And everyone, well, Rel looks like she's inting too a little bit. But, you know, you look at it and you see the KDAs in game and you think, well, this is a free win. We're doing super good. You don't realize that the gold lead is actually relatively close, you know, within 1,000. And the game can still swing either direction. You know, giving away 2 dragons there, that's not good. You know, the ZAC is actually moving around the map as well as he can. Like, he's doing solidly for what he is. And the JAX just has to ensure that we keep our experience advantage, because we do have the gold lead, by about 1,000 almost. We just must keep up our camps here. We don't want to be counter jungled. If we had the counter strike ready, maybe, but Zach's a tough cookie to lock down. Right, Herald's going to be spawning right now, and then we have the Samira bot lane here. She has 6.7k gold. Good lord, that's rough. You know, we have 6.3 for reference, so ADC meta, it ain't, but for sure, ADCs will tell you that their class is weak because of clickbait bullshit on YouTube. Class is fine. Skill issue. Just because the role was broken for the whole year doesn't mean it's weak now. You know, this is Astro broken. Now it's just like good. If you're good, you will carry. And Samira's in a great position here. Obviously, we're worried about the Quinn perhaps rotating. I mean, I think if you're a challenger jungle, you can track the Zac to the bottom side. If you are Master Tier, Diamond, Emerald, and below, it's okay to be like, you know, I think Zac's going to go to the bottom side. I should be okay here. And then he just shows up here to contest for zero reason. Happens. I'd just be ready to smite, move on. Much like the dragon, right? Like, you've got to track what you think they should be doing logically and what they could be doing stupidly. And you always got to think about those two things and be ready for both outcomes. Because honestly, that's just junglers make me question things sometimes. Alrighty then, into the red side jungle here. Here's the Quinn, and the red buff is available. Also, we see Zac in the bottom side in the meantime. So if you're busy fighting, you should still notice these things. Oh boy, that Samira's going to be a bit of a tough thing to kill. But you know, we got a fed cannon, we're fed Jax. We can split push, and this is great because most of you, I guarantee you, are telling me, yes, Virkayu, enemy ADC's fed, my ADC's a goon, and my support needs a capture check. And they fail it every time, especially this rel. Yeah. So how do you carry then when that's your reality? Well, let's go. Early game's done, mid-game transition, Heimerdinger is pushing. By the way, yeah, you know, we're level 11 here, so we hit our targets for 40 minutes and then some for gold. And obviously, we have flash as necessary. There's a lot of damage there. There's the Galley ultimate. Ziggs over the wall. Cannon's able to get the kill. We fed him. He's juicy. We got the pick. Samira will be resetting and coming up, so we got to make sure we do this quickly. There's another counter strike into a leap strike. There she is, and that's what I'm saying. You see, in the back of your mind, okay, Samira, base. She's coming out of base with huge gold expenditure, maximized completely. We've got a small pocket of tempo here where we can make him pick and clean up and transition properly to the mid game. But you do have to have that internal clock. Like, Samira's rotating, and as soon as she shows, you're ready to back out. Don't overly force her. She's 3 levels on the Ezreal. Well, do one thing right in your life. Anyway, we have Veigar on the bottom lane here. Samira's now, as we said, gathered in the mid lane. Everyone's kind of getting back onto the map, and this is where it's important, okay, to understand as a jungler. Specifically, as everybody, but as a jungler. When your laners start moving around the map like this, alright, farming your quadrants is fine, taking your camps to where you want to go is fine, but do not keep farming like it's the early game. Do not keep farming and sequencing like nothing has changed. Everything has changed. As we can see here, Mega Fight, you see the Jax finishing the Wolves. He's going to rotate over to this one. Samira's killed the Ezreal, and now we're forced to retract a little bit. There's a Samira spinning to win. Cannon goes back to the top side. There's Veigar cutting through. Counter-Strike used to absorb some damage and try and get the wave. Could you have done the Grump? Yes. But then maybe you lose a turret, right? So the rotation here is very important. Here's Quinn. Cannon splitting. Zac's been flanking here the whole time. The whole game, I would expect. There you go. See what I'm saying? The Jax pausing. Sorry. You can do this, sacrifice this, and push up in shadow. But what then happens afterwards, right? So the Jax rotates to try and help. Now, Rel under turret into the double. Oh! Well, there you go. That's the only noise I have for you. The Rel, Jax, Counter-Strike, Veigar combo was beautiful, and they overcommitted. Because Jax left, but again, object permanence. Just because he left doesn't mean he no longer exists. If you guys full-on commit into that turret dive, and the Jax is still in the vicinity, he's going to rotate. Oh, that's not good. He was going to do that, going to counter jungle, going to flank, going to do this, like, just chill and say, you know, whatever. They overcommitted, and he punished their mistake. That's why F keys are so brutally important. Because what happens is most people will leave and just not F key and see this. Just had a coaching session earlier, same thing. You know, we didn't F key, we didn't see. Then I had another coaching session with the Gwen jungler, F keying a lot. Fantastic. Rotating for a lot of cleanup kills. And so it's important, these kinds of small little details. But as always, A fed ADC is the worst thing in the game to have on your team when you are not fed also. Why? Because they will do this shit and they will make these macro plays that don't make any sense. They will over-engage, over-commit, and if you are against that, punish them thusly. Always punish them as much as you can. It's so important to make sure that any mistake made by anybody in the game is punished. In some capacity, right? It's not always going to be an obvious thing. It's not always going to be a big play like this, but sometimes just taking some camps away while they take your bottom lane turret is okay. And it's small little trades. So again, we do our quadrant because we're looking to fight here. We're watching this the whole time. Trying to finish off the Raptors before we rotate because we don't want to be late to this. There it is. There's the run again. Oh, the Event Horizon. Kill the Galley if you can. We can't, but we'll just use our... I mean, what do you want me to say at this particular stage? This is why JAX is so good, but... This is why JAX is so good. Yeah, JAX is an absolute monster, so... sorry, replay glitch. Bottom wave is there, crashing a little bit. We have the JAX going back in... This is why we like the Trinity Force Sundered Sky Tech. There are obviously a lot of different ways you can go. They did nerf the Blade of the Ruin King, but these combinations into like a Sterex here, they're just unbeatable. Obviously, you can go to like GAs later on. You can go into more tanky items. You can go Frozen Hearts. We have seen some JAX shows, you know, final items just to make sure we're unkillable. Bruisers have a remarkably diverse portfolio of items they can go now. But really keeping things simple. I get a Sheen early, I can get Resistance Boots or Ionian Boots, whatever your fighter may be. In this case, Resistance Boots on JAX is peak. It's just, don't overcomplicate your life. Trinity Force is huge. Play around your spikes, the Sheen spike, the Trinity Force spike, the Sundered Sky spike with it as well. And now, what I'm getting at here, yes, you can go the Sterex, and obviously from the match history I saw, into the Zhonya's. We have decent and solid AP ratios. They literally had buffed that last year to the point you can see full AP JAX. Look, W scales with AP. Q here scales with physical damage. This passive here is obviously attack speed. Counter-Strike here scales with raw AP now. They changed that last year. And the ultimate here also scales with AP. So your spell damage is what scales with AP. There's a lot more burst proc that you can get from this, while the 80 meshes really into your leap strike plus your auto attack passives that you have. Here we go. Red buff invade, we really want to swap onto the dragon, but sorry, the Baron, but if we don't need to, we can just kill the Zac, who for some reason feels that this is a good place to be. It isn't. Now you can see already the spell damage is going to be massive. We have the stasis, there's a dead guy. Heimer's flanking from the backside here. There's a W was pressed, Counter-Strike was pressed. Also, we wanted to empower the leap strike, we didn't get it through there. We used the stasis here. On the Samira ultimate, we leap strike to reposition yet again. Counter-Strike is up again. We're going to try and stun the Samira, which we're able to do with our team. We reposition, leap strike back over. Try to get the bunker, couldn't get the bunker. Now we get taunted. But Kennen shows up. Well, it's a bit everywhere, but good. Overall, good overall. Now, quick thing about the stasis. Please ensure when you buy Zhonya's and things like this that you're anticipating spell usage. Like you knew the Samira was going to press R there, so we save our stasis for that moment when it's most effective. Right, 2 dragons to 1. You know, that fight is not something we really planned on actually having, but we did. Zack's down here. I'm confused. So why he keeps positioning himself in this way. Top wave's completely crashing. His passive's up. He's completely out of position. Points flying away. There's no reason for the Zac to be there. Why is he there? Dragon's about to spawn. He's trying to flank. Like, look at the map from Red Team here. You know, this is not good. Like, you need to focus time. Honestly, you give up this dragon straight up. You give up this dragon. Control your camps. Push up the vision line with wave pushes. Get some deep vision. And honestly, if they're going to go for this, that's when you can sneak for the scan and maybe try and pull this off. Obviously, we wouldn't be able to do that in this game, but that's what you're going to be thinking about. Always, if you have to give something up, take something else, okay. Especially when you've already got 2 dragons. So we'll take this one now. It'll be 2-2 apiece. JAX is 9-2-12. Huge game. Zhonya's is finished. Also very good, right? Seekers, active. Base, Zhonya's active again. Always try and maximize your first stasis and your next stasis, because having those stasis uses so close together in the mid to late game is very powerful. You don't want to use a stasis and have nothing for another couple of minutes because you can still got to buy Needless, then you got to buy Zhonya's. So try and always bring the Seekers active and the Zhonya's active as close together as possible, because it really throws with people. And then, of course, you have regular cooldowns. So, we're in a bit of a chill zone here. They know we can go for the Baron. We try cheekily go for the Raptors. We get poked out there. The Samira is very, very risky positioning there from the Veigar. Cannon does have TP. Jax moving down to go to get the red. Obviously, keep your eyes on this as always. Okay, if you need to rotate, you're going to have to rotate quickly. So eyes, always. Watch the map. Watch the fights. There it is. We see it. We're going to move over as quickly as we can. Now we can shadow in here to shadow this and this. We can cut through. There we go. Beautiful. We can take these camps and cut through always. There's the Quinn out of position. Free damage. I love doing this with top laners. There's a TP from the Veigar. Zach is overcommitting. Remember to use your stasis properly. Try and get the stun on the Samira that she dashes to avoid it. But then you can't dash that. You can't dash everything. She falls. And Zach is, again, I don't know. Really strange positioning here. Great ganking. He's really just thrown it away the rest of this game. I'm not sure why. Bonk again with the W. And now we can end. I mean, that was really anticlimactic for the end, but again, it shows the importance of the macro decision. So, they're going to close here. But please, if you can take one thing from this video about being a fed jungler in the mid game, alright, as they finish up here, it's this. We're waiting, patiently, looking for shit. Red buff for the whole team. Go snack it, but eyes on everything. We watch the fight. Do I need to cut through here or is this good? Is this good? Okay, no fight developing. Now you've got the positional advantage to get in their jungle. You can shadow the top laner, the split pusher, kill the 2v1 before they're able to react to it. And then, of course, your team can shove up here if they set 5 and you subtract, or you just goon squad fight as they did, or in this particular case, you join your team if they start fighting. Like, you've got all the decisions right there for you, as you need to make. So this cut through here into this area between two worlds, as it were, just a great place to be macro-wise. Made the right decision, team played around it, and JAX Jungle showcasing power.